Hey guys, what's up? I'm IModernArts here, and today is a tutorial on how to make a simple lighting setup in Cinema 4D that looks kind of like this. It's easy, but you get really good results, and you can put in it whatever you want to, and it's easy to do, but you might not know how to do it and make it look like this. So let's X this out, minimize that, and let's do a new project in Cinema 4D. So first of all, just to get organized, this is what I usually do when I start a project. Take the rotator key here and just rotate it so the whole thing is centered. So you got that axis point in the center, and you get something that looks like that, so it's completely centered. And then you're going to click on the four arrows with the light in the center, and hold it down and add a camera. And then once you got that camera, when you see a little black box to the right where it says camera, just going to click that so it turns white, and that way you're seeing out of the camera. All I have to do is just click a keyframe at the beginning of the animation and at the end of the animation. Well, we're not making an animation, I mean at the timeline. But just this way the camera will lock on. You probably know this, but if you just rotate it like that, you can just click back on the camera and it will lock back on, but I don't really want to make this tutorial all about that, so if it's not working for you, just skip the step. It's not really necessary, but it's just pretty helpful. And for some quick render settings, I don't want to take too long on that, just make your output 1280 by 720. Make sure you're on current frame. Save it as a JPEG, unless you're making an animation. And let's just add ambient occlusion, which gives some really good shadows, and just put the maximum samples down to 80, which is a quicker render. And you can keep that the way it is. And effect, add a globe illumination, and click on this iridescent Kachi, and put the first two boxes to low. And that pretty much wraps up render settings. So now we're ready to go. So let's start off by adding a cube, which is going to be our room. Position it so it matches the bottom line. So you might want to go into your 4 views to do that, and you just want to position the bottom so it matches with the blue line. And let's see, you're gonna make let's make the size X maybe 500. So for size X, type in 500. What else? For size, keep the size Y 200. Let's make the size Z, let's try 800. There we go. We got that nice looking box, which is going to be our room. But to see through it, because it looks like a cube right now, you're going to press C on your keyboard to make the cube editable. And then on these little tools on the left, you'll see the grid with the purple square in the left. So you're just going to click on that. And then you see you can click on each one of the segments in the cube. And just click on the one in the front, like that one. And just delete it. And now you got that nice looking room. If we click here, you can see it's a little bit off, so let's go back to our camera and just click the move tool and move it up a little bit, and then maybe zoom in a little bit too, so we get something like looks like that. And then just re-keyframe the oops, I don't undo that. The fuck. Let me just redo that. But you're just going to re-keyframe it so it locks onto that position, because that's the position that you want. So delete those other keyframes. I don't know what the hell's going on. Yeah, but just delete the keyframe at frame 0 and frame 90, so it just locks on to that position right there. Delete the first one. Sorry guys, just going through some problems. Alright, there we go. We got the camera that locks on the view of the cube. So now, if you try moving your cube, you notice you're not able to move it. So to fix that little problem, you're going to right click on your cube and click group objects, and now it's in a null object so you can move it. Just edit undo that, keep it the way it is. And we're already pretty much halfway there. We already got the room, and now pretty much all we really need is the lighting and just some nice text. So for the lighting, you're going to make another cube, You're going to want to go into your four views so you have a more accurate view of where everything is. And let's edit some of these. Let's make the size Y. This is going to be like pretty much how thick your light is. So let's make that 5. And then the size X, put that to, let's try 20. And the size Z is how long your light is, so maybe 400 will do, that will work. And cancel that. Now you're going to drag your light up like that. Actually, you don't have to do it yet, because before we do that, you're going to take your light and drag it into a cloner object. Take your cube and drag it into a cloner object, so click on Mode Graph and Cloner Object. And you're just going to drag that cube on into there. And this is going to pretty much clone the lights. And once you're in your cloner object, you're going to click on Mode and you're going to do Grid Array. And for the second count, put that to 1. And the third count, put that to 1 also. So now you just got 3 lights that are spread apart evenly. And if you're still in your 4 views or your quarter view, go to your right view or your front view and just move it, align it to the top. And now you got some things that look like lights, but if we render our image, oops, wrong render. Let's just render that. You'll see that nothing's happening, and that's because for global illumination to work, you need to add lights. And so the way you're gonna do that, these 3 cubes are gonna be your lights. So double click in the Materials tab, and double click again to open the material. And you don't need to change the color, just check off luminance and put the brightness of that luminance to 200. And then if you change the color, you're gonna want it to be between green and blue, and then a little bit something looks like that. And if you're curious about the numbers, I have right here the R is 200, the G is 252, and the B is 255. So if you want to just copy that down to make it the same, go ahead. So you're just going to drag that onto the cloner object. And now if you render, you're going to see it's going to illuminate the area. And really nice look. Kind of looks like a garage or kind of some garage lighting. It's pretty dark, but I think it's pretty nice. If you want to make the luminance maybe 300, you could try that. But you have to understand that the luminance technically is actually 900 because you have 3 lights. So if you're doing it with only 1 light, then you'd want to do 900 to get the same effect. But there we go. You got 3 cubes, which are your lights, put into a cloner object. You got this room. And that's pretty much it for the lighting setup. But we can add some text. So click on Mode Graph, Text Object, and let's just align it to the middle. Let's make that say, it's a good word, lighting, whatever. Let's just try lighting. And try to find a nice looking font. Let's try B-Base. So let's make the height less so we'll fit inside our room. Give it a bit more depth. Something like that. You might want to add some caps, so start fillet cap, end fillet cap. Bump the radius down to maybe 2. Let's give it some steps so it has that nice rounded edge. And let's render it again real quick before adding some materials, just to see where we are. That actually might look better than the image I already had for you guys. So just double click again for a new material and just check off reflection, make that texture Fresnel, and let's put the brightness down to maybe 10%, mix strengths down to maybe 30%, and maybe give it 4% blurriness. Let's just drag that onto the lighting text and render our image. Because that way you get to reflect, the nice lights you have will reflect off of the text. So there you go, guys. That's my tutorial. Pretty easy lighting, simple lighting setup, but obviously great results. And you could probably use this on an intro. It looks pretty cool. Maybe you could add some concrete to these walls. But I just want to end this tutorial. Keep it simple. Keep it to the essentials. So thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe because I'm not making these tutorials for nothing. And thanks, guys. Have a nice day.